3 years ago, I left my full-time gig as a high school English teacher in Philadelphia. And a year and a half ago, I left Philadelphia completely and moved to the high plains deserts of New Mexico. But as I said in a recent video, this year, I'm going back to the classroom. And today I got my keys, so I want to show you my blank slate of a classroom and talk a little bit about what this year is going to hold. Let's go check out the room. And this is the new room. It is very plain. All right, let's talk about this. I've had probably 5 or 6 classrooms in my life, and all of them have had some level of like something in it that looked kind of cool, or was like a design feature that looked kind of cool. This is the most plain room that I've ever had, but I got 2 really great things going for me. 1, I don't share it with anyone. I'm the only person in this room. 2, I told them I want to be able to do anything I want, and they said yes. So I don't know if they know what that means, but that is a really good thing, because what it's going to do is allow me to create a space that I want to come to, selfishly I want to come to every day, but somewhere that students are going to want to be in every day. And that's ultimately what we're trying to do with our classrooms, is create a space that students want to learn in, and that looks like it's for learning. It's not for sitting and being lectured at or something like that. So before I show you the room, for those of you that don't know or that haven't been following the channel for very long, I was a teacher in Philadelphia for almost 2 decades and in Camden, New Jersey. In that time, I've had rooms that I did a lot to. I mean, like my last room in Philly had a 9-foot driftwood tree in it, had custom-made shelves, floating shelves, flying books hanging from the ceiling, custom organization, custom stand-up desks. I mean, it ran the gamut. Giant chalkboard walls that went around the room that I could draw on and things of that nature. It was really something that I took a lot of joy in creating, and I'm looking forward to doing that again. So now, 3 years later, I'm getting ready to start a teaching career here in New Mexico. So going from Philadelphia to the wild, rustic, rural New Mexico, high plains landscape here. But the crazy thing is, I didn't bring anything from my old classroom. Like all that stuff I made in there has either stayed there or it just doesn't exist anymore, because when we moved to New Mexico, it was too expensive to move all those big lockers and stuff like that. So we're really starting from scratch. And the good thing for you all is to see, like, I feel like a first-year teacher in many regards anymore. Like I'm building a classroom that is from scratch. I don't have all the cool stuff. I don't have that classroom had patina on the patina, and now I'm starting new. So to give you an idea, the room is 31 feet on one side, 24/6 on the other. There's a doorway right here, but all these walls are flat. There are 2 whiteboards, one on the side of, one in the front of the room, one on the side of the room, depending on how I decide to orient the room. I'm not sure yet. There's 4 small bulletin boards flanking each, so 2 flanking each whiteboard that I have in here, a projector that is attached to the wall here, and then that's it. Like I don't have anything else. One of the things I loved about my room in Philadelphia was that it had carpet in it, and this room is just a plain concrete floor, which I think is going to be awesome too. I think there's a lot of great stuff we can do because it's a blank slate. So I'm choosing to look at that as a positive. So my cameraman, Brody, come on over here. So you're going to come in the room, and the first thing I see is that there's this glass wall here. I think this is just a design choice. One of the things that's pretty neat is that outside this door, which I'll show you in a moment, is a little area that all the teachers sort of decorate during the school year. And a lot of the teachers make seasonal decorations for that as well. I'll show you a couple of those as well. All right, so every teacher in the school has this kind of interesting space in the front that they decorate. So sometimes teachers do this seasonally. Sometimes they do it for their subject matter. Some of them are really simple, and some of them are really kind of incredible. Like the art teacher made like this tree with bees and butterflies and all kinds of stuff. But I'm looking for ideas of like, what can I do out here? What do I want to set the tone for my classroom so that when parents visit, when students are in the hallway, what is messaging, goodness, kindness, belonging that I could have in the classroom that is almost like you'll know a little bit about who's being taught in here and who's teaching by what's happening out here. I want to find a way to mask this window a little bit. It's a little bit too much, and maybe this might just be like PTSD from other schools, but when kids can see into your room, one, it ruins the surprise if you're going to do something cool, and two, kids look in and they make faces and put their faces up against, that's probably just PTSD. Is that PTSD, bro? Okay. So he's saying yes.
There's a lot of knuckleheads. So, yeah.
There are a lot of knuckleheads? Okay, so Brody would know. Anyway, this is the door coming in, and then immediately, if you come over here, Brody, you just see this is the entire class. So I'm not sure if I want to orient the classroom so this is the front. The goal in that would be that if someone comes in the door, I would like the entrance to be behind my class. So if someone comes in, it's not an immediate distraction. Also, if someone is at the window, it's not an immediate distraction. There's a lot of tours that happen at the school for getting folks to want to come here because there's a local military base. And I just don't want that distraction. If someone's peeking in from the outside, I want to just have my class be able to focus. I like this idea of this being the front of the classroom too. And then that means I do my vibe board right here, which would sort of fit between these two bulletin boards. Right now I'm thinking that's what I want to do. Unless I have this idea. So if you look in the back here, there's all this room as well. I'm getting rid of so I'm going to get rid of this bookshelf. I don't want it. It doesn't fit my taste, and it doesn't match with that one. There are more of these in a storage area behind the school. So my thought is, I get 2 of these. I'm going to paint the outside black. I'm going to put lights in the front under these lips, so that all the books and knickknacks I have on here are all going to be illuminated. And then I'm going to take 2 of them, and bring them over here. Take this bulletin board down and put those here so they look like a custom built-in. I've measured it. It fits from this wall to the edge of the board, so that I'm going to have these 2 custom-looking bookshelves in here that are lit and will be a focal point as soon as you walk into the classroom. Right? And it's also easy access for if kids need to get stuff. The back of the room, I won't go too far into all of this yet, because I want you to see it when I get done building this. I'm going to get stuff today. And this idea of sort of large tiered seating here that's in an L shape. So I'll build this out of 2x4s and plywood. It'll be about this high. And it'll be about as big of a step, that's why this chair's here, about as big of a step as this. And then that will have pillows on it and maybe some cushions that we can have group discussions on, that kids can just sit back here and chill and work. It'll also have stools in front of it so kids can sit in front of that large step and work on things together as a group. What I want the vibe of the classroom to be more than a typical classroom is a co-working station. Right? So if you think of a WeWork or a startup, they always have like bean bags and different areas for group work to be happening and things that are just visually interesting. It's about creating a classroom that's conducive to all of your types of learners. So kids that have a hard time sitting still, kids that need a little bit of space to move around, kids that want to lay on the floor and work on a project. We're going to create a space that is conducive to all the different types of learners in the classroom. So that'll be here. I'm not really sure, if y'all have any ideas, you can leave it in the description or in the comments below, what to do with this corner. I have an idea, a couple of different ideas. I thought about building another tree, even though I don't live near driftwood. I thought about building a big cactus over here. I thought about maybe doing a large piece of pegboard that I would paint that would have things students could use during projects. So whether that's scissors or tape or colored pencils, markers, would all be on a large pegboard over here. That's an idea. And then this is going to be another focal point. This wall, I think we're going to paint a dark gray color, and then everything we put on the wall will pop off of the wall, right? So when I have picture frames and things of that nature, they will all pop off the wall. I thought about getting a large couch. Y'all, I don't live near IKEA anymore. Target's an hour and a half away from my house. I got a Walmart and a JCPenney near me. That's it. But we have Facebook Marketplace, and it has been my favorite place to go and try and find stuff around here lately. So my daughter Marley and I are planning on doing very many trips to like flea markets and things like that this summer. But Facebook Marketplace, I found a leather couch I thought about putting over here with a dark color paint, and then making this feel more like a coffee shop, cafe kind of area where we can have group conversations. Kids could talk about stuff in book circles and things like that is what I'm thinking. And then my last idea for right now, either against this wall or this wall, is to paint a mural. They never turn those off in any school. I'll say that's not as loud as the one I had in Philly though. That thing was mega loud and would scare me all the time. So doing a mural of sort of an homage to where I am in New Mexico. In Philly, I had homages to Philly all over my room. And here I want to do that same thing. I want to honor the space where the kids come from. I want them to see a bit of their community up on the wall. So I have this really kind of simple mural that I'm thinking about doing, which I didn't tell you kids we need your help, and you're gonna call your friends because they're all gonna come and help Mr. Reynolds paint the mural. So that's it. This is the whole room. I feel like I went from this giant room with giant windows and brand new carpet and stuff to a much different classroom, but I am destined to make this somewhere that's incredible, that kids want to be in, that you'll be inspired to check in on, that I feel inspired to walk into every day, and that my kids are gonna like. This one doesn't really like talking on camera, but she wants me to be her teacher, don't you?
Yes.
All right, that's it. That's it for this time, gang. Keep tapping in. I'll keep showing you what's going on as I build this out. And if there's any ideas that you have of things you think I should do or something you've always wanted to do in your room, drop it in the comments below. I would really love to hear what you have to say. It would be awesome if you had an idea and we could build it and then you could know that that was yours. We'll see you next time. Hey, look at all these other videos that YouTube is now suggesting for you. Maybe you could watch one of them. That's it, gang. Peace.